There's no certified letters from them certifying that this man is a teacher. He's a doctor of law.
He never went to the schools we went to.
Yeah, like case in point, Paul, he actually went to a school taught by Gamaliel. All right, but Yahushua, it was not so. If Yahushua, the understanding Yahushua had came directly from his father Yahweh. Okay, so it says the Jews marvel, saying, "How knoweth this man letters, having never learned?" Yahushua answered them and said, "My doctrine is not mine, but his that sent me." All right, so
that's right. Now I'm gonna read this real quick to back up also what Elder Gabar said, because that's one of my favorite scriptures to go to when these people start talking about of going to school and learning the doctrines or whatever of this society. Is a scripture of Yahushua where he never went to those schools. That gift was given to him directly from Yahweh. Now this is when you read the book of Acts, the 4th chapter, it's talking about the disciples. They were out there teaching in the name of Yahushua. Now, as they were teaching in this name, they wanted to forbid them to teach in that name, as some characters today. But the name is no, the name does not mean to keep the law. The name of the Most High or God is Yahweh.
Yeah, because Nate taught in one of his bogus classes that the name means to keep the law. Now, the scribes and the Pharisees beat the apostles with rods and told them not to teach the name. So if the word name means to keep the law, why would the scribes and the Pharisees say push people to keep the law, but then beat them for keeping the law? Doesn't make sense. Does that make sense, as Nate would say it, that idiot, All right, go ahead.
Yeah, because, that's very important. In order for you to personalize your relationship with Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, with the Most High and His Son, you have to know their names, because you have to call on those names. So if you have to call on those names, you have to know them. And we know through the scriptures that they didn't speak English or Greek, or Latin. The language of the heavens is the Hebrew. All right, but this is the book of Acts 4:13. It says, "Now when they saw the boldness of Peter and John and perceived that they were unlearned and ignorant men, they marveled, and they took knowledge of them that they had been with Yahushua." So they call them what? Unlearned and ignorant men. Why? Because
did you read the 12th verse?
No. This is Acts 4:12. "Neither is there salvation in any other, for there is none other name under heaven given among men whereby we must be saved." That's the name Yahushua. It says, which is the Son of the Most High, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus. It says, 13th verse, "Now when they saw the boldness of Peter and John and perceived that they were unlearned and ignorant men, they marveled, and they took knowledge of them that they had been with Yahushua." And this is talking about those wicked Pharisees in them. Because the reason why they call them ignorant and unlearned was because they never came up under the authority of those the school of scrolls that was being taught back then. We never seen you guys in here. We never seen you guys learn the Greek or the Hebrew, or learning the laws. That's right.
Neither was Yahushua. The only one that came up under the tutelage of the law. And then there was a classic Hebrew, and it was like a broken form of Hebrew, and that's in the scriptures. I got to find the wording where they kind of criticize certain of the disciples for speaking a non-classic Hebrew. But what happened was, it was the Apostle Paul that was or Saul that was trained properly among one of the, I guess you can call him a scribe. He was a teacher, a doctor. His name was Gamaliel, and his name is mentioned in the scriptures. So he was considered learnt. The Yahushua and his disciples were considered unlearned. So they looked down. It was certain classes. You had a class system among the Israelites. You had the high priest. Then you had the other priests up under him. You had the chief high priest. Then you had the other priests up under the high priest. And then you had scribes, you had Pharisees, and you had various offices. Like Paul represented, basically you can pretty much say he was like a police officer to execute the laws of the scribes and the Pharisees and the priests. Because he thought he was doing the will of the Father when he was coming against some Christians until he encountered the Lord Yahushua himself.
That's right, But he was sincere in his venture. Now, these wicked Pharisees and them, they knew that was the Messiah. So they had to find a way to try to destroy him, to get the belief of the people away from him, because they had a position that they worked hard for, that they wouldn't be able to keep if the people believed that was the Son of the Most High. That's what made them wicked, because they didn't believe in the Son of. They knew it was him, but they didn't accept him. They rejected him. Now I looked up that word unlearned in the in Acts 4:13, and it comes from the Greek word agrammatos, and it means illiterate, unlearned. Because why? Because they didn't go to those schools that they had back then. As Elder Apostle Tar just mentioned, he mentioned about the class. You had classes, different classes, of people back then, because the Pharisees and them, that was a class. You had the Sadducees, that was another class. You had zealots, you had, scribes, you had the priests, So you had different classes of people back then among Israel. You had the higher ups, and you had the middle, and then you had the ones on the bottom, which they call peasants or common people. That's what they deemed Yahushua and the disciples to be, on that common people level. Now I looked up the word ignorant also. It's idiotes, which is just where you get the word idiot from, or idiotas. It means a private person as opposed to a magistrate, ruler, king, a common soldier as opposed to a military officer, a writer of prose or opposed to a poet. In the New Testament, an unlearned, illiterate man as opposed to the learned and educated one who is unskilled in any art. Why? Because they had that gatekeeping, so to speak, and only the ones that. Why do you think Caiaphas became high priest? Because he went through this school. He went through that rigorous training of learning. He was recognized. Gamaliel was recognized. Nicodemus and other men like that. They were recognized. Why? Because of their credentials, so to speak. But the bottom line was some of them guys were not sent. That's why the scriptures say, not many wise after the flesh, not many mighty. So, because the Most High deals with the lowly, the Most High deals with the ones that are despised. And today, basically GMS is despised. You got these guys that come up with these wayward philosophies, like Egyptology or hell or stuff.
David's name is the shield of David. When you take the D, the Da, and the other Da, you push out the mother characters, and then you turn it upside down. It becomes, that's David's name. That's not scriptural. That's not scriptural, man. You guys are bugged out. Hey, I got some couple of scriptures here. This is Psalms 8:2. It says, "Out of the mouth of babes and sucklings has thou ordained strength because of thine enemies, that thou mightest still the enemy and the avenger." All right, we're the babes. We're the babes. Okay, Still means to stop. Let me just go. Okay, babes. Let's see what the Hebrew word there is. That's I will allow. All right, and it means child, boy. But it's talking about us because we're like unlearned compared to the disciples, compared to the chief high priests and doctors. They considered us babes. And I'm gonna go from here to